Alright, pond winterization training. This is a basic small pond with a skimmer, a bottom drain, and our typical filtration system with a pump, a UV sterilizer, and a filter system. It's got the Aqua Ultima 2000 on it. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to put in a standpipe like this, which screws into the skimmer. Basically it goes into the intake hole on the skimmer. Which usually when we install them is the front. There's two holes here, so it's usually the front hole. I did put Teflon tape on this fitting, and it basically just 2-inch pipe that you thread into. And when you do this, it's going to suck the water out of the pipe, so that the pipe gets completely sucked free of water. And then we'll put a blower on this end and disconnect it from the other end over there on that three-way valve, and blow out whatever water is left. And as we do that, you'll have no water sitting in the pipes, and it will be safe from freezing. This standpipe will stay in place throughout the winter to keep pond water from going back into the skimmer. Also, we're going to put this in, which is called a gizmo, and basically it's nothing but a piece of plastic that is pliable, so that when you do put this in the pond and it does freeze in the skimmer, it will absorb the shock of the ice. So there is a second hole in these skimmers that we usually plug up, and this one's actually 1.5 inches. So this basically just threads into that, and all that does, like I said, is it just acts for when this water in here does freeze. It just gives and allows the ice to not break the skimmer. So we will have no water in this pipe once I engage this and then blow it out. Like I said, we'll disconnect the skimmer from the union over here, and this will be where the water blows out from. We will also remove the UV sterilizer from these two unions, and we're going to keep the pump running. We're going to do a good clean on the basket here. We're going to do a good cleaning on the filter, a good backwash on the filter, several good backwashes. And then on this particular pond, it's a small pond, so basically, the filter is right next to it. So we're going to simply just come out of this pipe here, and instead of going into the UV, we are going to just put a pipe to go from here just directly over into the pond. So we'll bypass the waterfall, bypassing the UV. And then we're going to have this line here that actually goes up to the waterfall. I will put a blower on the end of that over here and make sure that we don't leave any water standing in that pipe, because you got to keep in mind that anywhere where there's standing water is a potential freeze point. So what we'll do then when we're done is there'll be the bottom drain, which will be left running through the winter. The skimmer will be off. I will leave this, which is where we blew the skimmer out, just loosely connected, and the water will come only from the bottom drain through the system and then back through the bypass. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'll be back. So I have now backwashed this system several times to get this system as clean as possible. I've also cleaned out the basket, and as you can see, the standpipe is in the skimmer, and we want to get all the water out of that. And I pretty much got most of it out, I believe. So what I'm going to do is simply this is the skimmer, this is the bottom drain. So right now, as you can see, the skimmer is turned off. So what I'm going to do is close the bottom drain, let this pump pull from the skimmer, and you can see it immediately just cavitates, starts sucking air. So that tells us that this line is pretty much dry. Now, for the most part, you can kind of leave it right there, but what I like to do is unscrew this and put a blower on the end over there and blow the air through to this end, and it'll blow out a little bit of water, not much. And then, like I said, I'll leave this loose. Now my next step will be to remove this UV out of here and blow this pipe out as well. So I will try to get that on video next. With our next step being to blow out the skimmer, I've already put a wrench on this to loosen this, so I'm able to do it by hand. Going to simply unscrew this, just so that the air can blow out, and make sure you got a little gap there. Remember that there's an O-ring in here. You do not want to lose that O-ring, or it will not seal back up in the spring. So now we're going to come over to the skimmer, and like I said before, most of the water is going to be out of this pipe, and if you look down it, you can see I don't even see any water in there, but we're going to go ahead and take a regular blower that we use for backwashing and install him. I just basically placed it right on top of that 2-inch pipe sitting in there. I'm going to turn this on, and you'll see over there, you should see some air and water come out. So you don't want to be standing nearby, obviously, because you will get wet. So we'll let that run for a minute. Go. And that's really all that needs, and obviously that's really all that needs. And the longer the run from the skimmer to the pump, obviously the longer that you're going to need to leave this blower running. So the next step now is going to be to pull that UV out, and we'll blow out that next pipe that goes up to the waterfall. And the customer already has a pipe that we left them that has a union on it that will connect to the filter right here, and this pipe will just kind of drape over the edge, and we'll put it under this net for now, for the winter, and we'll tighten up the net, make it look pretty, and skim off as much of the leaves as we can, and the waterfall will then be off, but the filter will still be running through the bypass. So the next step, I'm going to blow out this pipe. Okay, you can see here that I've removed the UV sterilizer, and we're going to put that aside and put it someplace safe for the client to grab and bring inside for the winter. This is simply just the line coming out of the filter. The water now is running, instead of going to the waterfall pipe, which I just blew out with the blower as well, this is now returning through the winter bypass, which just goes into the pond, bypasses the waterfall, and I like to leave it so that you can see the water movement. So the customer can see that the water is flowing throughout the winter. Basically, we're pretty much done here with the filter system. I'll probably hose it down real quick just to make it look nice. But the bottom drain is now the only thing that the water is pulling from. The waterfall is bypassed. The UV is taken out. The next step will be to clean off this net, tighten it up, test the water, leave the results for the client. And this is pretty much ready to go. I went ahead and put the skimmer back together, put the basket to the side, keeping in mind that we're going to need to come back in the spring, and we're going to want to know where all this stuff is. So keep that in mind when you put things down and put them away. End result, net has been tightened, been skimmed off, looks clean and neat for the client. The waterfall is turned off, the bypass is on. Skimmer has been blown out, and standpipes and gizmo in it. UV has been removed. Filter has been backwashed thoroughly. Just finished testing everything. Everything looks good. We also did about a 20% water change, which was required because we had to backwash the filter so much. All in all, looks good.